All right, welcome back everyone. So in this video, I want to talk about something that's a little bit atypical to be covering in a sales class, but I think it's really critical to understanding two marketing functions that should be very tightly connected. And also a lot of the tools that we've developed in this particular area of marketing are incredibly useful for developing smart, effective sales strategies. And that is branding, thinking about a brand. Now, a brand is defined by the American Marketing Association, at least, as a name, term, design, symbol, or other feature that identifies one seller's good as distinct from the goods of another seller. So a brand is some mark, some signifier that says, here's what's special about me and what it is that I provide. Here's what's special about what I am selling to you. Branding, then, is endowing individual products or services with the power of a brand, with the power of a symbol of what it is that makes what you are providing different. Now, we treat branding like a completely different area of sales. Like typically you have a vice president of branding or a vice president of communications, corporate communications, marketing strategy. That's where we would think of branding as living. And then sales is often treated as like this different beast that lives in another part of the company. And that's not a great way to approach marketing, because if you think about marketing and kind of the traditional goal of a brand being helping people to have a decision-making shortcut, helping the customer to understand at a glance, oh, here's what's different between these two things that I'm considering purchasing. That's incredibly valuable for sales. And vice versa, your sales team is probably the group of people in your organization who are interacting with your customers the most frequently. And so the people who are developing your corporate strategy, the people who are thinking through, what is it that really makes our product different and distinct and uniquely valuable to the customer, those people need to be in contact with the people who are having those conversations on a day-to-day basis. These two functions really fit together nicely, despite the way that we tend to treat them in organizations. So often branding and discussions of branding and brand strategy are completely neglected in sales, vice versa. And it's incredibly important to make sure that these strategies are aligned, and not just at the C level of an organization, because there's a huge power in having integrated marketing efforts, right? We often have classes on integrated marketing communications, not marketing communications, integrated marketing communications, meaning they're incredibly consistent over time. You're trying to communicate the same message in a variety of forms. If you've taken my CB class, then we talk about strategies for making an idea stick in someone's mind: rehearsal, recirculation, elaboration, chunking not so much here, but those first three are strategies for integrating, for communicating consistently the same underlying message, so that you're building up those associations in the customer's mind. You can't have an integrated marketing strategy if your sales team is out there doing one thing and your branding or your kind of corporate strategy level team thinks that your brand stands for something different. And I'm not the only one that thinks this, right? This is a recognized problem. So we'll take one big step back here, and I want to quickly highlight just the value of brands overall. So when we think about brands, this is not some like abstract topic. This is not us, philosophizing about, philosophizing about, no, my gosh, I did it wrong again. Philosophizing about symbology and complex ways of communicating meaning. Like, there are dollars and cents on the line here. So this is the most recent Forbes ranking of the most valuable brands and the corresponding brand values. I'm not going to go through this whole list, but just to quickly show you like the numbers that we're talking about here. And you can see as I scroll through here, oh yeah, like I do really evaluate a product differently if I see that it came from Toyota or Intel or Nike or Cisco or Oracle. We have different sets of expectations for the same product or the same service when it's associated with one of these brands. Okay, and I told you I'm not the only one that thinks this is an issue. Here's an HBR article. I'll put the link in the comments of this video, and I'll upload it to our course website. But we're having conversations about these in the very current business landscape, right? So thinking through, hey, is your sales team aligned with your overall brand strategy? And here we are in HBR talking about, why is it that sometimes this isn't happening? There's a link to this white paper report from a company that did some of this research, looking at, well, how much money has your company invested in trying to define a brand story and having a really clear value proposition, and then, undoubtedly developing a huge amount of marketing collateral to communicate that very specific value proposition and brand strategy. And then we go over to the next page here. And when asked, how confident are you that the people across your organization can tell your company's brand story accurately and consistently, we're at 43% confident. So we go from 79% of people saying, yeah, we spend a lot of time and money and effort and assemble a lot of our company's resources to develop this brand story and value proposition. And then at the end of the day, when I'm dealing with the people who are out there communicating that in the most direct possible way to my customers, I don't know that they're doing it. That's in part a training issue. I mean, it's in large part a training issue, right? So maybe they're just not confident in the quality of the training they're providing to their salespeople, but often it's because we treat these two functions as if they're siloed. So in the next videos, what I'm going to do is take some very basic branding tools and strategies and techniques, and we're going to think about how we could apply those in sales. But the bigger picture here is thinking through exactly why it is important for marketing functions that we treat as more distinct to be really closely integrated.